I'm glad that the Tennessee Titans lost that game because they deserve to lose, and if that's what wins look like, then I don't want them. That and more on today's edition of Locked On Titans.
You are Locked On Titans, your daily Tennessee Titans podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the Locked On Titans podcast. I am your host, Tyler Rowland. Titans fans, today's edition of the Locked On Titans podcast is brought to you by FanDuel. New customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. On today's show, I'm going to tell you why the Tennessee Titans deserve to lose that game, and I'm happy about it because if that's what the wins are going to look like, then I do not want them. We're going to talk about how Cam Ward and the offense consistently struggled throughout this game despite a little flash in the pan there right at the end of regulation, but I do want to give credit to the defense who had a very good day, and guys like Cedric Gray, Jeffrey Simmons, Kevin Winston, Marcus Harris, some young guys really had good performances. Before we get into all of that, I do want to thank you for making Locked On Titans your first listen. Also, thank you for making the Locked On Podcast Network the #1 sports podcast network, Monday through Friday. Tennessee Titans content all year round, always for free. Make sure that you get subscribed, stay subscribed. It's your team every day. Speaking of every day, shout out to my everydayers out there tuning in Monday through Friday. Couldn't do it without you guys. If you aren't an everydayer, you need to be one. There is nowhere else that you're going to be as informed, as entertained, as up to date about your favorite team, the Tennessee Titans, than right here on Locked On Titans. But at the end of the day, again, the Tennessee Titans deserve to lose this game. I'm happy that they lost. They did not deserve to win this game. Just the way this team plays, the way they operate throughout. The Texans tried to give the Titans the game. They really wanted to. The Texans wanted the Titans to take this game from them, and the Titans just could not do it over and over and over again and again. I think they deserve this loss. I'm happy that they lost because I don't want to win if that's what it's going to look like anyway. The runs on first down, I talked about it all week. I've been talking about it since before the bye. The Titans need to diversify their play calling on early downs. They need to get in heavy personnel, but throw the football on early downs. And in the first half, at least, I mean, it was 7 of 8 first down plays were run plays, and only one of them went for more than 3 yards. Like, during the first half, the Tennessee Titans were averaging less than 2 yards per carry. It felt like it was like 1.8 for most of the first half, and you continue to run on first down and not play off of that play calling tendency at all. So it's like, if this is the coaching staff's plan coming out of the bye week, then they don't deserve to win, and it's no wonder the offense can't do anything whatsoever. The conservative coaching, like the first down run calls play into the conservative coaching, but the conservative coaching, 3rd down and 3, past the 50, run the ball again. And just like we said last week, if you're going to run the ball on 3rd and short across the 50-yard line, you do it because you know that you're going for it on 4th down. But for another week in a row, Mike McCoy allowed a 3rd down run play and then a field goal. It's 6-0. Congratulations. Guess what happens? The Texans go straight down the field, score a touchdown. Now it's 7-6 and you're losing. Like, how can you, as a 1-8 football team, as a coach who's an interim head coach, it's not like you're trying to keep your job for the future. You know this is an audition. You're not going to get the job here. Nobody is blaming you for the team being as bad as they are. It's not your fault, Mike McCoy. Why would you not be more aggressive? Why would you not be more devil-may-care? Why would you not take some chances and some risks? You go up 10-0 right there. With the way your defense is playing, you have a chance to truly win the football game. But you can't even do that. You can't even do that. The runs on first down, the conservative coaching, the bad offensive showing, and that is not just the coaching, but at some point in time, we have to look ourselves in the mirror here and be like, okay, these players are clearly not good, but the collective group is better than, this is like one of the worst football teams in the last 25 years in the NFL. That's what a Raiders coach said after playing them, and I'm inclined to agree. This is the worst Tennessee Titans team that I've ever seen. So, like, the runs on first down, the game plan. the conservative coaching, the in-game decision-making, the players, the development off the field, the penalties. I mean, 5 or 6 pre-snap penalties? 3 false starts on J.C. Latham alone. We'll get to him when we get to tighten up and tighten down at the end of the show. But all of these things that make the game hideous to watch as a fan are all back to coaching. Bad game plan, conservative in-game decision-making, bad player development on the offensive side of the ball, unprepared offense, undisciplined offense. Coming out of a bye week, your offense looks the way that it looked out of a bye week against a team that you've played before. It's not just you're coming out of a bye week, but you literally played this team before. You're at home, off a bye, all of that stuff. I don't know how you can look at it and say that the Titans deserve to win this game at all. Again, all of that stuff to me is the Titans did not deserve to win this game, period. And again, to finish that sentence that I started with, I don't want it to look like this. If this is what the wins are going to look like I told you last week, I thought the Titans probably got 2 more wins down the stretch. They'll win 2 more games. I still think that they'll probably win 1 more game. But if this is what the wins are going to look like, do you want them? Tell me that down below if you're watching live. Do you want the Titans to win? Hit me up on Twitter at TicTacTitans. Do you want the Titans to win games if this is what the wins are going to look like? Where the only reason that they're in the game is because the defense is playing well. The offense can't do anything. Cam Ward looks bad for most of the game. It's a hideous, ugly performance. The reason I was okay with getting some wins, and I know that some of you were angry and not happy about that. Hey, why do you want them to win games? They need the first pick. Well, to me, it's if the Titans win games, then it's probably because the offense had some moments of life. It's probably because Cam Ward had some good plays. That's probably why the Titans would have won, right? It had to be a complimentary game. But if this is what the wins look like imagine if the Titans would have went for 2, which I thought they should have done anyway, give themselves at least a chance to not go to overtime. If the Titans were up 14-13 and the Texans missed that field goal by Matthew Wright, is that a good win? Not really. Not really. Did Cam Ward and the rookies grow and show promise? If you want to say that Cam Ward's final drive that scored that touchdown was so incredible that it erased how bad he was in the first 3 quarters, then all right, then maybe you would say that's a win. I'm happy. They grew. They're good, but not me. I want wins that prove that the young players are growing up. This would not have been that. This would not have been that. This would have been the Titans got lucky, another team played terrible, and they won. This would not have been a game where you look at it and you say, wow, Cam Ward really took a step forward. So, if they're not doing that, then what's the win worth? The win is only good if it comes with the growth of our young players that we want to play well. And that would not have been the case if they would have won the game today. So at the end of the day, they deserve to lose the game based on everything we said. And quite frankly, I'm not mad that they didn't win because they didn't deserve it. And this is not what I want the wins to look like if the Titans are going to win games down the stretch. But things are getting tougher. Calvin Ridley came back for 1 play, and now he's out for the entire season. Cam Ward continues to struggle, and having conversations about the offense and Cam Ward is just, quite frankly, impossible at this point. Do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you by Mint Mobile. If you're still overpaying for wireless, it's time to say yes to saying no. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. No contracts, no monthly bills, no overages, no hidden fees, no BS. I said yes to making the switch and getting premium wireless for just $15 a month. Mint makes it simple. All plans come with high-speed data, unlimited talk and text, delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can even bring your own phone and keep your same phone number and contacts. I love that you're getting the same quality service that you had before, but at a fraction of the price. The setup is super easy. You keep your number, and then you're running in minutes. Ready to say yes to saying no? Make the switch at mintmobile.com/lockedonnfl. That's mintmobile.com/lockedonnfl. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 per month. Limited time new customer offer for the first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details. Titans fans, let's continue today's edition of the Locked On Titans podcast, breaking down the Tennessee Titans' latest loss, this time 16-13 to the Houston Texans. Hey, I told you guys I thought that they were going to cover in this game, and that's exactly what they did. They did cover the 6.5-point spread, but they moved to 1-9 on the year, 0-5 at home. I talked about why the Tennessee Titans deserve to lose this game, and I'm happy they lost, because that's not what the game should look like if the Titans want to be happy about a win. But do want to talk about the offense in general, and it's getting even worse out there because of some of the injuries that are hitting the Titans, specifically at the wide receiver position. And we're getting news now immediately after the game. Looks like Mike McCoy, I'm doing the show, but I'm trying to pay attention to the news, juggling everything. But looks like Mike McCoy has announced that Calvin Ridley broke his leg and he is out for the rest of the season. Came back for one play, had a catch for about 14, 15 yards, and then immediately he's back out again. And then later in the game, Jim DK muffs a punt, gets a concussion, and he's out. And then at the end of the game, Alec Iomanner, who gets banged up earlier in the game and then continues to play, but then he leaves because he's banged up. And, it's like that's part of the issue with evaluating Cam Ward this year. Because let me say it clearly and honestly, because I cannot lie. Cam Ward has not played well. Cam Ward had a good final drive, but Cam Ward did not play well in this game. He had missed throws. He had inaccuracies. He held on to the ball. And if we're just talking about the entire season, Cam Ward has not played well. He has not played well. Now, the problem is, when you say that, 1,000 angry people say, oh, well, the O-line and the wide receivers and the coaching and you're right. You're right. The wide receivers and the O-line and the coaching and the run game, they're all terrible. Absolute garbage, bottom of the barrel, terrible. Terrible. The offensive line has severely disappointed. J.C. Latham is out there getting 3 false starts, while guys who were drafted behind him like Olu Fashanu, Troy Fontanu, even Armarius Mims, he shut down J.J. Watt in a primetime game. When have we got a performance like that from J.C. Latham? Latham has been an utter disappointment this year. Dan Moore has been okay. He's not worth $22 million, but we knew that was an overpay because it's free agency and that's what you got to do. But he's been okay. Zeitler has been a disappointment. Cushenberry is coming back from injury. I would say he's been nah. But Peter Skoronski is the only offensive lineman that's been good. I think he's been great, but he's the only offensive lineman that's been good. Calvin Ridley, when he was on the field, was a disappointment. Couldn't separate against man. Alec Iomanner has had drops. Jim DK is a late bloomer, but they had Tyler Lockett out there for a while. He did nothing. Van Jefferson is just another guy. He is literally bottom of the barrel, starting wide receiver, should not be a starter. At the beginning of the year, Van Jefferson was just playing special teams. He was playing gunner at the beginning of the season. That's where the Titans wanted him, was just on special teams. They finally threw the ball to Gunnar Helm a little bit more today. 4 catches, 29 yards. But you're right. If you want to say this is a trash group of wide receivers, what quarterback could succeed with that? You're right. You want to talk about the coaching? It is clear and obvious. I spent the whole first 7 minutes of the show talking about the issues with the coaching. And we know that from a player development standpoint, from a game management standpoint, from a game planning standpoint, like these guys are not getting high-level NFL coaching. And it was funny that I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, that drill. But there was a drill that went viral of Cam Ward bouncing through bags. And just Kurt Warner and all these different high-level quarterback coaches and NFL media personnel are just, why are we doing this? What a waste of time. And it's like, are they right? Probably. You know, who do you trust more, Nick Foles and Bo Hardigree or Kurt Warner? And it goes back to even when Brian Callahan was here in the preseason. I remember watching it. Kurt Warner did a breakdown on the Titans preseason game of Cam Ward's performance, and he just roasted the Titans offense. Roasted it. The wide receivers are not properly spaced. They're not running the routes properly. The timing of the offense is off, blah, blah, blah. And you kind of wondered then and there, like, this coaching staff, which if you weren't already wondering about it, I tried to warn you all off season. But the point I'm making here is all of these things can be right at the same time. All of these things can be true at the same time. Cam Ward is in one of the worst situations a rookie quarterback has ever been in this millennium, this century. Period. That's true. Now, if you're a person who will take that fact, Cam Ward is in one of the worst situations of any rookie quarterback in the last 25 years in the NFL. If that fact, that is a fact. If that fact means that nothing Cam Ward does can be criticized, nothing Cam Ward does can be analyzed, nothing Cam Ward does can be evaluated, if that fact means that for you, then fair. Sure, that's fair. I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong. I'm not. If you think that you can look at the wide receiver group, the O-line, the coaching, and say nothing that Cam Ward does this season means anything at all, he can't be at fault, it won't be his fault, he is off the hook entirely, I'm going to tell you that's fair. It's fair to think that way. That's a perfectly reasonable attitude to take. It's not my attitude. It's not where I'm at. I can't simply watch the football games and say, he's excused, Your Honor. The man can do no wrong. I just can't do that. To me, you have to continue to evaluate an individual player's performance. If you throw a football to an open wide receiver and it's not there, the quarterback is at fault. I don't care who the blocker, the play caller, or the wide receiver was at the time. It's a bad throw. If you have a wide open guy on a wheel route running down the sideline, and instead of hitting it right to him, you fade him to the sideline and to the goal line, and I can't just be like, oh, well, he's throwing to Mason Kinsey, so doesn't count, When you get tackled in the backfield and you drop the football again and lose a fumble, I can't just be like, well, the O-line's bad. I mean, you fumble the ball every week. So I guess it's just impossible. It's impossible to talk about Cam Ward at this point with anyone. It's impossible to have any discussions about Cam Ward in any way because you have the people who are just going to aggressively defend him, and no matter what he does or what he throws or what happens, it's not his fault. He didn't do anything wrong. Everything's so bad around him that none of it counts. And again, if that's what you're going to say in the comments, if that's how you feel when you watch the games, you're not wrong about that. That's a fair way to think. But it's just not where I'm at because I've seen enough from Cam where I'm like, this is concerning. The accuracy is bad. We knew that his deep ball was bad. We knew that. I talked about it on the Tic Tac Titans film breakdowns before he was even drafted. The deep accuracy is bad, especially to the outsides. But the overall accuracy issues, even on some completions, the ball is just not where it needs to be. The ball handling concerns, the speed, some of these checkdowns to the running backs, like the dump offs to Tajay Spears and Tony Pollard, they just got to happen so much faster, So Cam Ward is not a finished product. You can't sit here and say Cam Ward is this. But Cam Ward has not played well. He has to play better. And it probably won't happen until next year when some of the environmental factors hopefully are a little bit better, which is fair to say too. So basically it's just impossible to have real discussions about Cam Ward and the offense because you're either overly going to defend Cam Ward or you're going to overly criticize him. He's a bust. He's terrible. It's like there's no in between. But that's our modern life, right? That's just modern society nowadays with any topic. Not Cam Ward, not football, not this, not that. It's you're either on this extreme or you're on this extreme. And there is no in between anymore with anything. So I guess I shouldn't be shocked that that's the case with Cam Ward, but I don't care what society tells me. I am going to remain in the middle. Cam Ward needs to get better. He is not playing well, but everything around him is not good. Bottom of the barrel, terrible as well. I think all of those things can be true at the same time. But with that being said, there were some good performances out there, folks. Some guys on defense, some young guys came to play. Need to do a little tighten up, tighten down, finish things out. Do want to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. The NBA is back. And there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you miss the start of a game, you miss the tip-off, no big deal. You want to ride the hot hand? FanDuel has live bets on everything from who's going to score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team is making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Again, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Titans fans, let's cap off today's edition of the Locked On Titans podcast. We talked about why the Titans deserved a loss. I'm happy that they lost, and I don't want the Titans to win like that if they're going to win anyways. We talked about Cam Ward and the offense and why it's fair to say that everyone is playing poorly. Everything is bad, and that includes Cam Ward's performance as well. But now, I want to finish off with some good stuff, okay? We're going to do tighten up, tighten down. Before we do, thanks again for making Locked On Titans your first listen. And thank you for making the Locked On Podcast Network the #1 sports podcast network. Couldn't do it without you guys. Thank you all so much. Make sure you get subscribed, stay subscribed. It's your team every day. But, tighten ups. I was very impressed with some of the young players on the defensive side of the ball. I thought Kevin Winston had a good game, particularly in his run fits. Kevin Winston was getting up to the line of scrimmage, getting involved in run defense, and the Tennessee Titans' run defense was significantly better in this game than it's been all season long. 75 rushing yards allowed, 3.3 yards per carry. The Titans did a great job shutting down the run, and a lot of that had to do with the improved run defense that came from Kevin Winston. Not only that, but Marcus Harris. Marcus Harris in the slot. It wasn't perfect. I thought he could have widened out on one of the throws to the sidelines that gave the Texans a first down, but he came in on a blitz and got some pressure. He made a few pass breakups. I thought that Titans rookie cornerback Marcus Harris played great in this game. Same with Kevin Winston. I thought Cedric Gray, while not having the usual tackle numbers that we see from Cedric Gray, I mean, he ended up finishing with 11, but he only had like 2 or 3 for most of the first half. But Cedric Gray had a few pass breakups, got some pressure on some blitzes, had a few tackles out there that were impressive in open space. I thought that Cedric Gray played great in this game. And again, on the defensive line, Jeffrey Simmons, absolutely phenomenal in this game, other than he had the bad penalty, which was a bad call. It was a bad call, but had another sack, quarterback hits, pressure, and Jeffrey Simmons' gravity, the attention that Jeffrey Simmons takes that allows other people to eat immeasurable, and it's not going to be in the box score. I thought Arden Key had a great game in this game. First appearance back, 1.5 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 3 quarterback hits. I thought Arden Key was really good in this game. He gave it to Ariante Ursery quite a bit throughout the game. Now, he also allowed Davis Mills out of the pocket to break contain and pick up a first down with his legs, but whatever, it can't be perfect. But at the end of the day, I thought Arden Key, Jeffrey Simmons, Sebastian Joseph Day also had a really good game in run defense. So some of the young guys at the second level in the back seven, some of the guys up front on the defensive line for the Titans, I thought played very well. Cody Barton deserves credit as well. He played very well in this game. On offense, not a lot to say here. Peter Skoronski got called for holding at one point in time. I thought it was a questionable call, so didn't Mark Slayerth. But I thought Peter Skoronski played pretty well. Tajay Spears got the ball in his hands and did some things. 5 catches for 31 yards. A lot of situations he was in a tough spot, but he was one of the only people. Chigakonkwo had 1 good catch. Down the sideline, 39-yarder. It was a good throw from Cam, but not a lot on the offensive side of the ball. I'm not giving a tighten up to Cam. Not giving a tighten up to any of the wide receivers. I mean, give me a break. Get out of here with that. Nothing. You know what I mean? Just a terrible, terrible group. But at the end of the day, the Titans gave up 16 points. That's with the offense doing absolutely nothing. The defense did some nice things, and I think some of those young guys on the defensive side of the ball and some of the Titans veterans on the defensive line had a really stout game. And that's what makes, to me, that's what makes this so disappointing. It's what makes it so disappointing, is that this was a winnable game if Cam Ward and the Titans offense just acted normal. Just be a little below average. Instead, they are miserable, the worst offense since 1930 or something. You know, it's just, this is the perfect setup for the Titans to finish the season strong. Cam Ward to play well, the young players to step up, gain that rhythm, gain some momentum going into 2026. So they know what it feels like to win, and they know what it feels like to have a good game. When are we, I said it last week, but when are we going to have a good Cam Ward game? I said in the first half, Cam Ward's been off so far today. And a lot of people were replying, when's Cam Ward been on? And we haven't seen it for an entire game. He's had moments. Start of the Patriots game, end of the Cardinals game, end of the first half of the Rams game, the last drive today. But we have not gotten like, oh, Cam Ward was awesome today. That's what it's supposed to look like, blah, blah, blah. And that's, you know, everybody is so angry after the games that they're in a rush to defend their feelings and their players. But just me being a Titans fan, to you Titans fans, this season has been so sad. Cam hasn't looked good. We can defend him and fight and use the qualifiers and everything, but he hasn't looked good. The team is lifeless, rudderless, no leadership, lost its way. The JBJ trade, the IR trips, and now like we finished with Titan down. Latham played terrible. Guys who were drafted behind him at the same position playing better than him. You got Jalen Armour Davis, Darrell Baker Jr., Samuel Womack out there at cornerback, and I'm having like Parrish Cox, Cody Sensabaugh flashbacks, PTSD. You know, you look at the wide receiver group now, if they're going to hold DK out with a concussion, which is probably the smart thing to do. Ridley's done for the year. Broken leg, you know. Pollard is a shell of himself. It's just like, man, the season is so sad. I said it on Twitter over the weekend because I was just thinking about it. One of you guys in my comments after Vrabel was fired said, that's it, the Titans are going back to the dark ages. And, you know, I didn't want to believe that. I was like, no, the team's not good right now. They're going to have to climb their way back out, but it's not going to be like, the Ken Wisenhunt, real dark ages, worst Titans football. It's not going to be like that. Now, in the back of my mind, I was like, well, maybe. Can't rule it out, but my heart truly believed that's not what was going to happen. But the reality is, folks, that is exactly what has happened. we are in the darkest of ages of being a Tennessee Titans fan. This offense, the performance. That's why, someone said to me the other day, Tyler, I feel like you haven't been online as much this season. And it's hard. Everybody's angry in the fan base. Everyone's upset. You're arguing about nonsense when Cam Ward hasn't played well. People trying to tell you it's not his fault. It isn't his fault, but he's also not playing well. And, you say Peter Skoronski has played well this year, and everybody says, well, they're terrible. This offensive line's garbage. He can't be that good, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, there is no light. This truly is the dark ages. There is no light at the end of the tunnel right now for this football team. And we just came out of the bye. So it's difficult. It's difficult. So I just want to say, as a Titans fan who, this is my job. I cover the team. I got to get on here and do it. But as just a fan like you guys watching their games, it's just been a soul-crushing year, man. So just know, at minimum, I know how you feel. And there's a lot of people out there who feel just as downtrodden as you do. That's all I can say about that. But with that being said, that is going to do it for me today, folks. As always, I am your host, Tyler Rowland, and this was Locked On Titans.